Consider joining that noble order, we would start that activity now.
I am.
We would hear from fine, worthy speakers to validate our claim that this woman is ready to be a peer of our realm and a peer of this society. So we would ask first, is there a member of the Order of Chivalry who would speak?
Someone who would
I would fill in, Your Majesty, if I could. If it would be all right with the candidate.
I would love that, but also if the other person has prepared words and is running behind, maybe we could do the other one.
They can provide you their words as well.
I know. Actually, you can speak anyway.
Take the praise. Take the praise.
Your Majesties, there are many things I could say about Talia. She's always been a stalwart friend, a faithful companion on and off the field. I've gotten to know her during my own reign. She epitomizes great things to me of someone who just brings great joy to our game. And as a knight, it's great to see that in individuals. I see it in many unbelts, and I see it in many other people in the kingdom, and it's something that drives my own soul to have joy in what I do, and I see it in her so greatly. I wholeheartedly recommend it to you.
Is there a member of the Order of the Rose who will give us counsel?
Majesty, it is my great honor to speak for my friend. She was my Queen's rapier champion, but she became known to me first through Bardic, which is where it stuck, first and foremost. And I found a poem that I would like to read to you. It's a modern poem, but when I read it, I was like, this is it. And it's by A. Harkhurst, because I cannot wordify like you do. It's titled A Powerful Woman. She rises from her adversity, but never forgets her origin. She learns from her past and chooses to keep going forward. Even when her steps get heavy, she transforms her pain and suffering into strength and wisdom. Yes, she may stumble. Yes, sometimes she falls. But just as the sun always rises, so too does a powerful woman. She is equipped with an intuition that guides her course like a compass. She strives to love herself and all that she stands for, with a fierce loyalty, even when it's difficult. She's not afraid to seek truth, even when it hurts. She is passionate and uses her gifts to inspire and spread light and love, with a mind of wonder and a heart of goodness and grit. She is resilient. She refuses to be navigated by fear and doubt. She knows where she's been, where she is, and where she's headed. She uplifts other women and embodies authenticity and humility. She loves deeply, lives with compassion, and is relentlessly unapologetic. She is designed to be admired, not always liked, but she is fierce, determined, and unstoppable. She is a powerful woman.
Here.
We would ask now for the words of a member of the Order of the Pelican.
Do we have a stunt pelican?
I will gladly.
That's what we have.
Oh, we have. As ever, I am on top of the situation. I had the joy of having a lot of my time lightened during the worst part of the pandemic by spending time with Talia virtually. And I was impressed over and over again by her willingness to step in and help and to offer assistance with encouraging other people to write poetry, sharing resources so that it could be well researched if that was a path that they wanted to go down. Your scroll texts are to such a high standard that you have certainly made me cry in public, and I cannot imagine that anyone else who has received a scroll from you didn't suffer the same fate that I did, with the most joy in their hearts. I think that you have exhibited the finest grace and generosity and steadfastness, and that is absolutely what the Order of the Pelican does. So I have no qualms at all recommending her to you, Your Majesties, and I am so excited to see you recognized as the peer that all of us already know you to be.
Thank you for your wonderful words. Is there a Master of Defense who will give us counsel?
There is. Before we go any further, I release you from your oath of fealty.
It was my honor to swear.
And in return, I don't consider my end of the oath fulfilled yet. You still have a path to walk to become a Master of Defense in your own right. And I'd like to give you my challenge coin as a token to honor my efforts to uphold that end of the bargain. As a Master, I'd like to talk about dedication. During the pandemic, and as your time as a poet at Atlantia, I watched you tirelessly serve the bardic and poetic community of Atlantia with your continued upkeep of your weekly meetings, and you were just through and through always on top of it. And the same goes when you fight. Your dedication to studying German swordsmanship has always been impressive, and I think that's truly a characteristic that will serve you well on your path as Laurel. Your Majesty.
And finally,
Fine. Next.
is there a member of the Laurel who will speak with this message?
I made words, so I didn't have to make up words for you right out of my head. Because words are not my art. It's not an art I have great skill in. And yet I have the honor to speak before you, whose skill is those sort of words. Talia, we create art in such drastically different meanings. I feel I would not be able to actually, I can't even say the words, sorry guys. Would not be able to actually completely judge your work. I simply don't know the tempo, the meter. I mean, I get rhyming, that's simple. But all the inner details and the things that make the magic, I do not have the depth of knowledge to know the details of what makes the mastery. But I do know that I can enjoy and truly be impressed and touched with results. Your art's not my art, the art I'm skilled at, but what I can easily recognize is the care you put on every word, the precision you use, the words building on each other like paint layers that must be built for compositions, like pages sewn into a book, made with the same care, practice marks, and love I use in my own work. The effort to tailor your prose and poetry for every individual fits so perfectly and weaves emotion into every word. Every research creates extraordinary results. I do know your work moves me, and while I do not have the eloquent words of a poet, I can say with the emotion of a fellow artist, you are my peer. I want a hug now.
So we have heard from a member of every peer an absolute crime to refuse to allow that man to speak, because he is still a member of our populace, just a slightly more decorated one. And that means nothing to you. His words, his character, who he is as a person, means everything to you as an individual.
All the tears. All the tears. So, several people have already mentioned in great worthy speeches about how back in our very early pandemic days, when Talia was our poet Atlantia, that she started this weekly poetry workshop, and it could have just been something where we get together once in a while, read a thing, have a nice day. But it became so much more. It became a true workshop and a place of absolute growth and learning. Now, in that world, we had these amazing poets who were there. Talia herself, Ishmael, Linnea, and so we had these great Grant and Laurel poets who were there, and then there was myself. I hadn't even read the syllabus of the 101 class. For those of you poets, She taught me what a coupling was. Zero knowledge. But I came every single week, absolutely religiously, and she had these prompts and these teachings, and it basically became almost like a graduate seminar that I was so wholeheartedly dedicated to, week after week after week. And what she put into that work, into that offering to the community, there are no words I can ever possibly to express what that means, what it did for my journey, the love that of a form that I knew absolutely nothing about. And so I once heard a king say, "To know a teacher, look to their students." So as a populist member who proudly calls Talia my teacher, if I've ever brought honor to the discipline, this wonderful lady deserves much of the credit. And now as a Laurel, I proudly can call this woman my peer.
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry for being late. I went to the wrong place and then sprinted myself away. So I'm sweaty, so I have some armor on, so I apologize for that. But I wanted to be here to be able to congratulate you personally on Your Majesty. Talia is, to me, one of the most brilliant teachers that I know. And that really shines in their insatiable curiosity. That for me is a trait that I see as something that is shining everywhere that you and the pursuit of music, poetry, and all of those programs. For me, I don't know if my time up myself. Very pieces, Marshall, for that curiosity.
For those of you who I have not yet met, I am Magister Lorenzo Petrucci from the far-off land of Meridies, and Talia is my apprentice. The green belt of the apprentice is a symbol of your path toward the laurel, and as you near that path, or at the end of that path, it is time to relinquish that belt for one that is perhaps more color fast. Some years ago, the cruel winds of fate took Talia from us and blew her like a tiny seed far north into the lands of Atlantia, where she found a spot and took root. But it was the people of Atlantia who nurtured that seed and allowed it to flourish and to grow into the tangled briar patch that we all know and love. And for that, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to all of the people of Atlantia who have taken good care of her and allowed her to shine.